Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you've never been to my channel before, welcome. My name is Alaya. I've been living in Egypt now for about 10 years. And today I'm going to teach those of you who have just moved to Egypt and maybe those of you who are married to Egyptians how to really impress them and impress Egyptians with making a very authentic Egyptian meal. And it's not difficult, but it's something that is made on a regular basis. Before we get into it, I'm going to ask that you go and subscribe and like this video. Please, do me a favor. I'm coming up on the 1,000 subscribers number there, so please help me out. Also, check out my other videos for things that might be helpful to you if you are about to move to Egypt, have just moved here, or just want to kind of learn more about living in Egypt. All right, so let's get started. So today we're going to be learning about how to make a Molokhaya and chicken meal. Now, if you don't know what Molokhaya is, it's a soup. It's a green soup. It looks maybe not necessarily appetizing, but it is very good and children love it. My kids can eat Molokhaya every single day and never get sick of it because it is quite good. And for those of you who are trying to get healthy or maybe lose weight, it's a very good meal to have. In order to keep it low carb, high protein, it's really good for you. So let's get into it. All right, so the thing that I want to first show you is what we're going to be working with our tools, okay, or our cookware. I don't know. I'm not I'm not great at the domestic vocabulary, so excuse me. So in today's meal prep, you're going to need here, and I'll show you. Here, this is my stove. You're going to need a big or medium, because I'm not making a huge amount of food. You have a medium-sized pot. I have a small pot, and then I have a pan here, okay? So you're gonna need this pot here. This big pot is what I'm gonna be boiling some chicken and making broth. And you will need that broth in order to make your Molokhaya. Then once the chicken is done, and it's been boiled, then we're going to fry it up in this pan here. Then I'm gonna take the broth, use it to make the Molokhaya, clean out this pot, and use it to make rice. Confused yet? Confused? Oh, okay. So the first step, as I said, is to boil your chicken. So I've bought this bag here of chicken thighs or chicken drumsticks because I absolutely love eating drumsticks. Here from this brand, it's a frozen uncooked chicken. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on to boil. Inside of the chicken, along with it, I'm going to put an onion. I'm going to grate some garlic using this. I use a cheese grater to grate my garlic, but some people use the pinchers, but I usually grate my garlic using this one, and particularly using this side, and it makes it nice and thin and everything. I also use salt, pepper, and cardamom seeds, as well as coriander inside of my chicken boiling mixture. So I'll check back in afterwards. I've got it all together. Okay, I do want to take a time out to show you that in the supermarkets you can buy already peeled garlic, which just saves you a lot of time. Oh my goodness. So you can buy this. This brand is called Aggravate here. Aggravate. I love that because it is an aggravation to have to cut this out, but Aggravate. So I'm gonna use my cheese grater and grate it into the chicken. I also want to stop and show you about what cardamom seeds are, because these are really important, and it's not only used in just Molokhaya. You'll use them a lot, and you can find them in any store. They're little seeds that look like this, okay? And it's very good. Actually, let me zoom in on so that you can see exactly what they look like. Here, cardamom seeds. Now, if you bite, you have to make sure that you remove them, because if you bite down on one of these, they taste horrible. So make sure that you don't bite down on one of them and remove them after you're done cooking with them. But they make the chicken, and I add them to rice as well. It gives them an amazing flavor. Okay, so also today I'm also going to be using onion powder instead of an actual onion because all I have are these massive onions that are this size, and I don't want to waste an entire onion just for one small thing of chicken and Molokhaya. If I had a smaller onion that was about this size, maybe I would. So today I'm just going to save myself time and use onion powder, which you can also find in the supermarkets. Okay, so I've got my chicken now on to boil, and I'll show you the mixture here. So I've got my chicken on here. It's not yet at a boil yet, but I've put 4 pieces of drumsticks in. You have your cut up garlic, your cardamom seeds, salt, pepper, a little bit of cardamom, and the onion powder all mixed in, and we're gonna let that boil. And it's gonna boil until, and I'll show you. And this is how you know that the chicken is done. What you do is you look at you see the bone. When the meat has peeled off of the bone, then you know your chicken is ready. So we're gonna let that boil until the meat is coming off of the bone. But in the meantime, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna start prepping the Molokhaya. Now this is what the Molokhaya that I buy, and you can see that it actually says Molokhaya on the bag. Do not mix it up with spinach, and let me show you. Do not get spinach, because sometimes there is a bag that looks similar. It doesn't look like this. It actually looks like the Molokhaya bag, but it's not, and it says spinach. Don't get spinach and Molokhaya mixed up because they are not the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start prepping the Molokhaya, and what I do is I usually de-thaw my Molokhaya in the microwave while I've got my chicken boiling, just to save time, because it is basically a frozen block. So I usually put it in for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds until the bag is mushy. Okay, I've decided midway through to add in a third pot to go ahead and just make my rice, just to save time, not wait until this pot is available. If you have the time, go ahead, you can use it and wash it out and save, using that pot again. But I'm gonna go ahead, oh gosh, I see under here. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and make my rice. All right, so you might not be able to see that. So I've lightly coated the bottom of the pot with oil. Okay, I've taken 1/4 cup of rice and put it in the bottom, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown it. Once it's brown, not burnt, brown, I'm going to add 2.5 cups of water plus another 1.5 cups of rice into the pot, and then turn the heat all the way to low until the water, and cover it, and then when all of the water is drained out of the rice, then I know that it's ready to go. I'm also going to make sure to add into the water mixture before it boils, before it boils out. I'm going to add in some cardamom seeds and a little bit of salt and pepper. Some people also like to add butter into their rice mixture. I personally don't, just for the calories, but a lot of people do. Also an update, now the water is now boiling on our chicken. I've just lit the flames. I've got the flame for the rice on high. And then once it's once it's brown, once these this layer of rice here is brown, I'll turn it down to low and then add 2.5 cups of water. By the way, you do have to stand over this because this does get brown very quickly. See how it's already white, and I've not even had it on full for more than a minute or so. I've also decided just to cover the go ahead and get my water ready. My first cup of water ready to pour in, so that just to make sure that it doesn't burn. Okay, you see how it's already starting to turn golden brown? We're not quite there yet, but we're close. Okay, enough of it is brown now to where I don't want the edges to start burning, so I'm going to go ahead and pour in my first cup of water. And it will do that. It will go. And I'm going to grab another 1.5 cups of water. Okay, so I've added in 1.5 cups of rice. I've added in, and I'm going to stir it up a little bit to make sure that those brown pieces of rice are mixed in with the white. I have my cardamom seeds and salt as well, and I'm going to cover. Here's a tip for when you're boiling chicken, by the way. If you feel like your water is about to boil over, take it and make the tip of your cover touch the water a little bit, and it keeps it from boiling over. Okay. Alright, so the chicken has been boiling for a bit, so I feel like it's brothy enough for me to be able to use it now to start making my Molokaia in this pot. So let's check on the Molokaia that's I'm thawing in the fridge and see, is it ready after 2.5 minutes to take out? Let's see. Is it squishy enough? Yes, it is squishy. So you see how it was hard before and now it's squishy and soup-like. Okay, so take note, there is a bag inside of this bag, so when you cut, I go ahead and I don't cut all the way across, I just cut it this much and then hold on to it, because inside the Molokhaya is going to be a little bit hot and I want to be able to kind of control it. Okay, now depending how thick you want your Molokhaya determines how much of your chicken broth you're going to use in your pot. I like mine not to be not too thick, not too thin, so I've used 2 cups. And now I'm going to add the contents of the Molokhaya bag into the pot. And then you want to cover it and let it kind of come to a boil and make sure that it's nice and it's thin. You might also want to make sure that even with the broth, you're still going to need to add some salt and pepper into it. Let's check on our chicken and see how we're doing with that, and is it ready yet? Let's see. Alright. Nope, we're not done. The meat is still not off of the bone yet, and in fact I may need to add a little bit of water. Okay, now let's check on our Molokhaya now that it's been simmering for 3 or 4 minutes. See how it's now simmering and it's completely now melted, and you'll see that it's now kind of thick. Now like I told you, my husband and I don't like it too thick or thin. We like it right in the middle. But it should be sort of goopy. It shouldn't be watery. Molokhaya, it's a soup, yes, but it should be of this consistency here. Especially the way that the Egyptians like it. Okay, so the water was running a little low, so I've added another cup of water in, and now I'm actually going to put in a bouillon cube to make sure that we don't lose any flavor now that I've added, like I've taken water from it to make the Molokhaya, but now I've added fresh water in that doesn't have, you know, salt and pepper and everything, so I'm adding in a bouillon cube here, a chicken flavored bouillon cube. Okay, here's an update on the Molokhaya. It is now what I would say done. It was at one point boiling and I turned it down to low, and now it's simmering, and as you can see, it's the perfect consistency, not too thick, not too thin. Okay. And I'm going to cover it, and I'm actually going to turn it just completely off now. And let's check on our rice, and let's see how it's going. Hold on, it's too hot. It's too hot to hold without hot hands. Alright, so you see we're getting there. I would say we're about 2/3 of the way through. The water is boiling out. You can see that the rice is now plump, and so it's definitely on its way. I'd say another 10 minutes or so. Let's check out our chicken, see how it's doing. Here. See? Alright, so you see the chicken is starting to come off of the bone a little bit, but still, this one like this one here, but it's still, I can tell it's not ready yet. Like, it's just not off the bone enough for my taste. Okay. Okay, so our rice is done, and I'm gonna turn it off, and I'm going to pick out the cardamom seeds that are here on top to throw them away, because as I told you, these bad boys taste horrible if you bite down on them, even though they give an amazing flavor to the food. But I don't want to scoop up rice. But anyway, so I'm going to take these out and set them aside. So rice is all done. Gonna cover it and let it sit. Update on chicken. I added still yet a little bit more water because the water was boiling out, but we're still, like, you can see like that one okay has got the chicken coming apart. Like you can see like this one is almost done. Here we're getting there. I'm gonna give it just a few more minutes because I really don't want to catch food poisoning. But you can see I'm going to give it like 5 more minutes and then I'm going to put it away. Okay, so the chicken is done. This is what it looks like according to me when it's ready. See how the meat is just completely come off of the bone there? So now what we're going to do is I'm going to use this pan, which I know it looks dirty, but it's just the way that these concrete or pans look like. I'm put oil in it. I've put a layer of oil here, and I'm going to basically move them here and pan fry them until they're brown. Alright, let's cook it. Make sure that we are flipping it as needed. As you do have to flip it. And watch it. Watch out for the popping, because it really does pop. Okay. I flipped them now. You have to watch out for popping. This is why I cover it. Okay, so the chicken is almost done. So now I've got a small plate because I don't have a lot of chicken, and I've got some paper towels because I want to, when I remove the chicken from the pan, I want to put it on these paper towels so that it can soak up some of the oil, because it is going to have, sorry guys, it is going to have a lot of oil. Alright, so that's it. So I'm going to show you in a bit, like a fixed plate, like how you're supposed to put it. But I actually have, I teach a course at AUC part-time, and so I have my online class starting in about 20 minutes. So I went to the gym and I haven't showered yet, so I need to go pop in the shower so that I can be ready for my Zoom class that starts in about 20 minutes. After my Zoom session later on, I'll show you the finished result. Okay guys, so this is the final look. You have your Molokhaya and your rice on the bottom with your rice on top. Some people like to have it different ways. I like to have it all mixed in together like this and eat it this way.